Welcome back. This is Mike with Rebel Quants. It's May 17th, 2022. Let's do a market update. So here we got Bitcoin USD and we got a 120-minute chart. So let's look at the short-term picture first. After the dead cat bounce on Thursday, we've worked our way up a little bit. And since then, we've kind of painted what I call like net zero tape, right? Basically, based on the indicators here, we got the net line right here that was breached, so it would be long short-term basis, right? Here we short again because we're slicing through this one, and then here we're long again, long, and here we're going short again. So we win a little bit, we lose a little bit. Say here we're long again after basically being short here, and we're long here, so we probably lost a little bit, but you get the idea. Here we gained a little bit, and here we gained a little bit as well. So it's kind of like a toss, right? And we're not really going anywhere fast. This is a normal reaction after a dead cat bounce, so to say, but it really needs to work its way out here. And we got basically I explained this last time, 3 indicators on a chart here, and one is so you see these blue arrows, right? These are micro gaps, and it's not surprising that these micro gaps usually seem the trend. So as you can see, the micro gaps to the downside, well, tape is going down, and then you see these early, here it tries to pop up a little bit, but gets slammed down again. So they give you early warnings. See, for instance, when you see here netline sell level being breached, actually 2 of them being breached, and then a micro gap, it's clearly bearish. You know this tape is going lower, right? And of course, the Kalmans, which I explained in quite some detail on May 10th, so check out that video. You should definitely watch that video if you're not familiar with these indicators. Watch my update from May 10th, and I shed a little bit more light on that. But just kind of like in a nutshell, Kalmans have nothing to do with moving averages. These are not moving averages. The Kalmans are highly superior to moving averages, EMAs or SMAs or whatever you might be using. So, and you can tell, how well they keep us in the trend here. They're doing really a bang job. Now, that's the Kalmans, and then we have the netline concept, which are basically 3 lower lows. See that 1, 2, 3 creates a netline buy level, and 3 higher highs that creates a netline sell level down here, for instance. So that's one example. Again, explain my May 10th video, so watch it. All right, so that said, here on the short-term side, we are slightly bullish right now, not bearish, bullish right now. We have a little bit of a wall of net lines below, netline sell levels, which if breached, probably will lead a little bit lower. So it's got to work its way out. There is no clear direction at this point. It's kind of meandering around. I think it's like, applying Vaseline after the big raping it just incurred. And everyone was a little bit in shock. And I'm going to speak a little bit in a minute about the sentiment that I observed, which I already touched upon yesterday. But it's definitely negative. So, okay, let's take a quick look at Ethereum USD. So very similar picture, a little bit more bearishness here on the sell-off, and we took some of that hit because that week we were actually in Ethereum. It looked strong at the beginning, but then really fell apart against Bitcoin quickly, and of course much quicker against the USD. And so here we see similar situation, right? This is the net zero tape, same thing we saw on Bitcoin. And right now here we have a wall of netline sell levels below, which is good, but it needs to hold this, right? It is in bullish territory right now, right here. Let me zoom in a bit. And it needs to hold that. And if it doesn't, then, if it slices through all this, we might see, again, a much deeper retest. Or scenario B, bearish B2, right? Bearish 2 would be that it actually slices even through this, and then, things might get really ugly. But, let's not project or anything, fears or hopes, either way. Let's just remain rational and just look at the evidence at hand, right? So let's switch over to the daily quick. I'll give you a little bit more context. So on the daily, we're still in bearish mode. Obviously, the Kalmans haven't crossed yet. They're still pointing straight, well, not really straight down, they're curling a little bit, but it'll take time. And it's supposed to take time, right? That's what the Kalmans are good at. They're really looking at the overall direction and they're plotting the path based on, the data they have, and they're basically calculated path versus measured path, right? That's basically what it's doing here. And we're far away from a crossover, and we're really far away from a netline buy level breach, which is 24.5809. And if I go over to, go over to Bitcoin USD. Did I tap the D? Okay. I think I did tap the D. Oh. A little bit of a delay here with the VPS, apologies. Okay, so here we're in slightly better shape, right? That's why I'm actually kind of glad that I'm in Bitcoin this week. It's 32,645 and 49 cents. That's the net line buy level right here. And again, similar situation, right? And you see the congestion here, which is basically the mini version, right? The mini me of all this here, which is, if you're looking at this price action, very reminiscent of what we just saw, right? See, here you buy, you long, you long, you long, you go short, you made a little bit, you short, you long again, you made a little bit. Here you are still actually long, so actually at this point you're in loss, but then here's actually where you are. This is a net line buy level. So you actually now, that's kind of interesting. We would have been long here. That's a net line buy level. You're long, you're still long, here. You remain long actually all the way through here, and then you're short again. So it keeps you in the game very nicely. Made a little bit of money, which is I think almost Nobel Prize worthy given a messy tape here. Right? I mean, this is a daily, and this is as messy as it comes. Right? So, and then of course, since here on a daily basis, we're in short signal here, and we're going to remain until we cross one of those. And one of the things I want to talk about is, if you're looking at this formation, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit more here. Basically, if you're looking at this, we have this wall of net lines right above here, see, right here, there, and sometimes, I've been talking about this kind of perspective previously, sometimes more sideways tape is actually positive. It's more positive because I think the best thing that can happen right now is for this to kind of work its way out, establish more context, and then try to run higher. If it runs higher now, very aggressively, it's going to basically run into like a series of brick walls, right? It's like shooting a bullet through a series of cans or something. The first three might be breached, but one of them is going to snag it, and it's just going to get caught here, and then basically probably smacked on the ass and sent to return to sender, right down here. So, and we don't want that to happen. So we want it to probably take a little bit more time here and work its way out, right? That's sometimes more sideways, or even maybe a little bit of bearishness might actually be better, because if we get a little bit more bearishness, we might get a new net line buy level a little bit later, right? And then we can breach it. That's the idiosyncrasies. How do you say it? Idiosyncrasies, I guess, right? Of the of how price action really works. Idiosyncratic. Oh God, I cannot pronounce this one. I'm sorry, guys. Whatever, you get the idea, right? It's stupid, right? Okay, I cannot pronounce 5-letter words. Right? So anyway. You get the idea. It's just it has to work its way out here, and sometimes it's counterintuitive. See, I can't pronounce that one. So that's basically it from daily front on Bitcoin. And Ethereum basically works almost identical. Okay, a little bit more about sentiment. I was slumming a little bit earlier this morning on Reddit cryptocurrencies, and I'm just flabbergasted. Because I had the same experience yesterday. Yesterday was a post about what utility, real world utility, Bitcoin, or by extension crypto really has. And I mean, I just was flabbergasted by the complete sea change in sentiment. Just a week ago, everyone was just, BTFD, DCAing all the way down, like dollar cost averaging down, right? And just buying and buying. And this week, I mean, just literally a week later, everyone is throughout the board. I mean, just go there and check it out. It's negative, negativity, disgust. Everyone is just completely off the bandwagon. Just like it's a complete bearish circle jerk. If I forgive my French, but it's ridiculous, because just the same people, the same crowd, just a week ago, even 2 weeks ago, were just as bullish as they come. And that's what exactly, what worried me, even here. It's even still here, right? If you're looking at this type action. And we're still on the bullish bandwagon. And since this wipeout, it has just flipped. It's just turned on a dime. And I find this fascinating, because I've really rarely seen sentiment flip flip like this, from one extreme, from black to white, right? From green to red. And it's just, I'm fascinated about that. I mean, just because it was like almost a religion over there. You would have said anything bearish just a week ago on subreddits, crypto subreddits, right? You would have gotten taken to the downvote central. You would have gotten 100 downvotes. I mean, I've put a few comments in there, a few weeks ago, and it's like, damn, you know where I'm getting from, right? Where I'm coming from. The crowd there's a big peer group effect, momentum in terms of the peer pressure, in terms of what people are saying, and you're just getting yelled down if you have a contrarian opinion. Not just, by the way, limited to Reddit. So but it's a great, if you don't really want to engage, or I mean, I'm not there to shitpost anything. I offer my opinion if I have one, and a lot of times I'm honestly too busy to engage them. And I mean, would benefit, right? I'd rather trade it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the sentiment, and I find it very valuable, because that's what actually concerned me up here, that the sentiment was still so bullish, and now we've seen it really change very, very rapidly. And I also, when I look at the on-chain metrics, right, the NUPL, net unrealized profit loss, I see it on the Ethereum side a lot more in the red. And the question is, of course, how far does it have to go? Have we hit a maximum sentiment extreme? I mean, on the sentiment scale, and I just looked at this morning actually as well, there is a sentiment scale for that for Bitcoin. And it is an extreme bearish territory right now. That does not necessitate a bounce, a long-term floor. But we're getting the bounce for now. And now let's never forget, the bus moves fastest when it's empty. And well, we'll see, right? Again, there's never any guarantees in the market. But I think the best that can happen right now is that it works its way sideways a little bit, produces a little bit more context, maybe a little bit of a lower netline buy level so people can get a leg in, and then it works its way higher. The bearish scenario, of course, is if we breach through here, right, the previous low, the spike low here. Let me see what we got. We got 25,538 or something. So it's, that if it breaches that, we've been taken to, is that, no, 26, yeah, 25,600 something. If it breaches that, being taken to the cleaners, and probably it's going to be taken much lower. But for now, I think we're holding here. This is very positive. I think it's going to require a little bit more time. Sentiment is extremely bearish. It's starting to look a little bit bullish on the short-term charts, but nothing really decisive in yet. So it's going to need a little bit more time. So let's see what the rest of the week brings. And then we'll talk. Okay, so that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe, down there. Press the upward button if you like this video. It would help a lot. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.